Hi everyone. This is going to be a bit of a excuse me, weird mashup of stuff in this video. I wanted to make a video yesterday for Self-Injury Awareness Day, but I was at school all day, and then I have an after-school rehearsal, and my parents are home in the evening, and I don't like making videos when there's other people in the house. So I'm going to talk a bit about Self-Injury Awareness Day. What it meant for me yesterday, and then I'm just going to explain a bit about why I started self-harming and stuff like that, and also a bit of what's been going on in my life at the moment. So yesterday I wore these to school. They're not official self-injury bracelets, they're just random orange ones that I found on the high street, but they're orange and that's what counts. I didn't do anything hugely public. I didn't put up any posters or anything, just because I wanted it to be particularly private for me, because it was only this time last year that I started intentionally self-harming. So it was sort of an acceptance thing for me, and my scars happen to be on my left arm, which is why I wore them on my left, these on my left wrist. The scars, they're not particularly hugely visible, which is why I'm comfortable with wearing sort of 3/4 length type sleeves. Anyway, yeah, yesterday it was a bit of a acceptance type of thing, because up until then I was like, no, I'm not a self-harmer, no, I don't do it enough, I'm not suffering enough, sort of thing. But yesterday I sort of accepted it and thought, yes, okay, I have done it. I might do it again in the future, who knows. Self-harming is a part of my life now, and I'm going to recognise it with Self-Injury Awareness Day, so that's good. I think that I first started self-harm maybe as young as sort of maybe 8, 9 or 10. I wasn't really aware of it at all, and I don't think I did it for any particular reason. Like, I didn't have a traumatic childhood at all. I was quite a happy kid. But I remember, and I don't want to be triggering, but I remember I used to tap and hit lightly with stuff on my arms just until it went red, and sometimes long enough until it swelled a little bit. And I don't really remember why I did it, but I think I just wanted to see what happened. I wanted to see what would happen if I did this. I don't remember really liking the pain. I don't remember doing it for the pain. I just remember doing it because I wanted to see what would happen if I did. That was just a curiosity thing. I remember vividly when I was about maybe in year 7, so maybe 12 years old, sitting with my arm draped around the back of my chair and just sort of tapping my arm almost unconsciously on the back of my chair until it went red. I think maybe it was because even though my childhood wasn't at all traumatic, I did have very, very low self-esteem. I've always had very low self-esteem, and I worried about stuff constantly. It was stupid things now, but stuff that like lessons that I hated. I used to hate IT, I used to hate PE, so I used to dread those lessons for absolutely all week. And I went into some sort of therapy. I think it was hypnotherapy at some point to try and help that. But I think maybe that was why subconsciously I wanted to self-harm. I was too young to really understand what it was, and which is maybe why I didn't get into it very quickly. And then maybe about a year or so before my mental health problem started, there was this one incident when I had my hand on a radiator because I was cold, and I was resting my hand on this radiator, and I thought, I wonder how long I can stand the pain for. And I ended up with a blister about the size of maybe a 10p piece on my wrist, and there's still a tiny scar from it there now. That's the first time I remember doing it for pain. And then in December 2009, I was going to say December last year, but realised that's not right anymore. December 2009, I started worrying a lot about my health, and it sort of took the step from worrying to really quite bad anxiety. And was eventually, about a month and a half later, diagnosed with hypochondriasis disorder. And I have done a video for the channel Living with MI about hypochondriasis. That's one of the first videos I ever did for YouTube, and on there I explain a bit more about what it is. But it's basically convincing yourself that symptoms within your body mean that you are seriously ill. A headache isn't just a headache means a brain tumour for somebody with hypochondriasis. So I went into therapy for that, and from that was stemming a sort of depression. It was diagnosed as mild depression, and I was put on Prozac, and it was sort of this time, almost exactly this time last year, that I started self-harming intentionally. That I was actually aware that I was doing it for some sort of emotional gain. I was doing it to get rid of bad emotions. So the first time I self-harmed, I think I did it just out of anger. I was really, really angry at myself for most of me believing that I was going to die, but yet also knowing that I wasn't. It's such a complicated emotion. If you watch the video on Living with MI's channel, then maybe you'll get it a bit, understand it a bit better. But I knew I wasn't ill, but yet I was also convinced that I was. And it was that anxiety which got me so angry with myself, and just one night it all got too much and I just did it, self-harm. And then after that, the first time I did it, I realised that having a physical wound there, like to look at, that I could see and that I could feel, stopped me. It's distracted me from thinking that there was something inside my body wrong with me that I couldn't see and couldn't feel. So I started self-harming whenever I was worried that there was something wrong with me, which was quite a lot of the time at that point. And then, as we all know, it spirals out of control, and you start doing it I started doing it just for worrying about general things. If I was worrying about something, I would do it. And then something very big happened with my group of friends, which I still haven't got around to posting a video on, but I will, which left me very lonely and feeling very bad about myself and extremely inadequate. And it was that incident which actually kept me on my antidepressants for about 6 months longer than what I probably should have been on them for if they were just treating hypochondriasis and mild depression. So the thing with my friends, sort of, it hit a brick wall with everything, and I wasn't self-harming constantly because I was lucky enough to identify that it was a real problem. I shouldn't be doing it quite early on. So from the very beginning I tried to suppress urges as much as I could, and it was maybe only once every week or 2 weeks that I would actually do something minor to myself. But then I was sort of at a brick wall for about 6 months, and it was only sort of in October time that I had a real relapse and started self-harming quite regularly again. Or wanting to, and that was because of another incident with my friends. So yeah, I've been free for about a month, I think. I think it's almost exactly a month, which is good. The most I've ever gone is 2 months, so I've still got quite a way to go before I can start building up my time that I've been free. I have been auditioning for musical theatre college these past few weeks. I had my first audition exactly this time last week, last Wednesday, 23rd of February, and everybody there was so good, and it was really intimidating for me, and I was okay once I was there, but then as soon as I left, I just felt like the most inadequate person ever. I felt like I was the worst dancer there. I really felt like that. And even though I definitely wasn't the best, anybody could see that I wasn't the best. I was probably better than I thought I was, to be honest. but still I've never wanted to self-harm more in months than I did then, and it really threw me off guard because I should have had such a fun day, and I did have such a fun day. I spent 10 hours doing what I love to do most in the world, which is sing, dance and act, and yet I walked out of there feeling like I just wanted to hurt myself because I felt so bad. I didn't though, so that's good. Excuse me. And yeah, I'm waiting to hear from all these colleges, and I'm getting quite anxious about it because it's not knowing, and I hate not knowing. Not knowing is the thing that has led to all my problems. It's the fear of the unknown is what is literally causing my anxiety for everything. It is the thing that makes me anxious, fear of the unknown. So yeah, I'm really uncertain about the future at the moment. I've got 9 weeks, I think it is, left at school before I leave school for study leave, and then leave school forever at the end of that. And then while everybody else is getting offers from uni and stuff, obviously I'm not going through that process, so I am still really uncertain about the future, and it's making me really anxious and on edge at the moment. But I think if I can suppress the urges to self-harm, then it shouldn't be too bad. And I'm going to stop now. This is like 11 and a half minutes, and